earlier on today in an assassination attempt. And joining us now is GB News' Home and Security Editor, Mark White. Mark, you've been bringing us the latest details on this story as they've been emerging. What do we know so far for those just joining us, and what's the latest?
Well, we can bring you now some dramatic new video just obtained by GB News that show the moments of this assassination attempt. You can see that the security detail and the Prime Minister up at that barrier on what is a meet and greet, meeting members of the public, and then clearly shots ring out. The Prime Minister falls to the floor at that point as members of the security services, his close security detail, grapple with the person on the other side of the barrier who has that handgun, who's just opened fire. Very dramatic images there, just from local media in Slovakia, just obtained by GB News. We also brought you just 15 minutes ago so other new images that showed the Prime Minister, Robert Fico, arriving at a hospital, an area trauma centre just not too far from where the shooting happened in the town of Handlova. Well, this area medical centre is in Banska Bystrica, which is just east of that town of Handlova. It has a bigger trauma centre. They were, Martin, weighing up whether, given the very serious nature of the injuries, to fly the Prime Minister to a bigger medical centre in the capital, Bratislava, but they decided, because of the precarious medical condition that he was in, that it would be too long a journey to take him 110 miles to Bratislava, even by helicopter. So they decided to take him the shorter journey to this area medical centre, which is still well equipped. He is undergoing surgery at the moment, but we haven't had any other update on the Prime Minister's condition. Worth a think playing, if we can, the images again just obtained by GB News of the moments when the Prime Minister was shot at. He'd gone up to the security barriers there to speak to members of the public, as politicians the world over do, as they try to connect, of course, with the electorate. Shots rang out. Members of the security detail quickly trying to grab this individual, the attacker who fired those shots, as the Prime Minister himself fell to the ground. Other images that we have showed the moments just after this where the security detail scooped up the Prime Minister and took him to a waiting armoured limousine for that journey to the local hospital in Handlova, where he was initially treated by the medics at Handlova Hospital, but of course a smaller hospital there. They just didn't have the capacity and capability there to be able to deal with the very serious nature of Prime Minister Fico's injuries. So that's why he was flown to this hospital in Banska Bystrica, where he is undergoing those medical procedures, surgery that is being carried out at the moment with a view to trying to save this man's life. And all the while, of course, as these images are being played out now around the world, political leaders around the world are expressing their utter horror at what has happened here, because politicians, by their very nature, they want to get close to the electorate, to speak to the public, and it carries risks, though, as we've seen here and in other incidents around the world where politicians have come to harm. This just the latest, but a very shocking development in this town of Handlova, about 100 miles from the Slovakian capital, Bratislava, where their Prime Minister, Robert Fico, was shot multiple times and critically injured.
OK, Mark White, thank you for that update. And as you say, dramatic footage, of course. Now, so many people with their mobile phones at any events like this. We have the shooting captured there. As you can see, this is the attempted assassination earlier on of the Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico, and then footage of the aftermath, the immediate aftermath of the Prime Minister being scooped into a parliamentary car, as Mark White said, to try and get him treatment, and also footage of the would-be assailant being arrested and detained. Mark White, thanks for that update. Of course, we'll come back to you for more when it breaks through.